Hi, everybody. It is Jennifer Nagel of Figured Out Fitness. Getting ready to go live once again. Well, I am live right now to talk about estimating macros. So as you guys know, I've been doing a little series on flexible dieting. And if you see me looking around, it's because I'm trying to set up live on Instagram. There we go. Now I'm live on Instagram and Facebook. So all my friends can see me. So yeah, I've been talking about flexible dieting, which is super important. It is the way that I eat. It is the way that I track my food and still stay sane without feeling like I'm dieting, and I get to eat all my favorite foods. And the first time I talked about kind of macros 101, what exactly is a macronutrient? How do you use that when I say dieting, not just to lose weight, but to gain muscle or just to have a nice, sustainable, flexible lifestyle. And then the second video, I gave some ins and outs on how to meal plan with MyFitnessPal using macros. So hopefully those two were really helpful to you. I think the one thing that I do want to reiterate though, which I mentioned in the second video, is that no matter what food plan you follow, it is not so much about the diet or sticking to something or making yourself miserable. All right, I guess we're just going to be on Facebook Live today. Instagram doesn't like me. So it's not about making yourself miserable. It's just finding ways for you to plan your food and plan and eat in a way that corresponds to your lifestyle and your goals. So that's why I'm a huge fan of flexible dieting, because macro-based eating to me has been the most flexible thing. Now, some people do not like that. Some people like a strict meal plan. Some people say, I'm going to eat whatever I want. I don't care. And that's fine too, but that's not what the series is for. So as you can see, I'm rocking the tank top. I'm so happy today. It actually felt like spring. Sun's out, guns out, Anyway, so I was really happy to wear some warmer clothes. And I would love to say, but, I'm planning my outfits for these videos. But honestly, I'm like, oh, crap, it's 6:45. I better finish what I'm doing and hurry up and get online. So anyway, hi, Iman, Lori, and Miguel. It's nice to see you guys. So today I wanted to talk about the topic of estimating macros. So it just is a quick review. When you're using flexible dieting, you are counting your grams of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Those are your macronutrients, your large nutrients that make up the majority of your food. You have targets for those that are calculated either through me as a coach or another macro coach or someone who knows what they're doing, so that they can give you macros according to your goals. And macros do change over time. They are fluid depending on what you're working towards. So you've done that, and you have been diligently tracking. You know how to use MyFitnessPal because you watched my last video and you're using MyFitnessPal. Then you get invited out with your friends. And then you're like, okay, and your friends are like, let's go to Red Robin, or let's go to Champs. Oh, Champs. So you're like, all right, because you're doing macros. You can go out, you can have fun. You don't have to worry about stuff. And so then you get there and there's no nutrition information on the menu and you start to freak out. And this is exactly where this video comes in, because again, flexible dieting is really about you feeling relaxed and having sustainable behavior so you can go out and enjoy yourself. So I want to talk about how you would estimate your macros in these situations. And I even have a prop with me today because my children tonight had fettuccine Alfredo from Sam's Club. Sorry, we're bad parents. We didn't make food tonight, but they ate, and that's good. And I'm not going to eat it. But if I had to estimate macros for that, I'm going to show you ways to do that. So the first thing to do is, if you are using MyFitnessPal or Macros Plus, or if you got Calorie King or anything like that on your phone, what you can do is look up the components of your meal. So in my example, and I'll show you the fettuccine Alfredo, it probably looks really not appetizing in this light on Facebook Live. But I can tell from looking at it, there are noodles, cream sauce, and chicken. So I would say, all right, using my hand skills, so I'm a hand estimator, 4 ounces of chicken is like a deck of cards or the palm of your hand. Oops, I'm trying to do this back, palm of your hand. If I had a cup of carbohydrates like rice or noodles, it would be about a fist. And then a fat, 2 tablespoons of fat is about the serving size of your thumb. So if I were to look at that, like, well, at least I just pour some in here. Say we got about 3/4 cup of noodles, maybe a half of a palm of chicken, and I don't have enough thumbs for how much fat's in that. So maybe a few thumbs of fat. So I'm going to look up those components on my Fitness Pal. So I'm going to look up a half cup, or I'm sorry, 2 ounces of chicken, and it's going to tell me, oh, it's like 65 grams. Jennifer actually knows that. So you're going to look those components up and then build your macros from there. And it is an estimate. You're never going to know exactly what's in there. You're going to have to be okay with that. So you're going to build that based on the components. If you have something like a cake, so if you have a slice of cheesecake, you don't, I mean, I'm not asking you to look for all the components, put a recipe together, but then if you go into something like MyFitnessPal, you can look at cheesecake, 1 slice. And you'll have lots of different options. You'll have options that are like 90-calorie cheesecake, and then you'll have one that's 1,000 calories. So look for the one that looks most common, that looks most like what you are eating. So if you are eating a turtle cheesecake, don't plug in the plain New York style one, put in turtle cheesecake. Look at the one that looks most like what you're eating, take the average, and use those macros. I like sushi. So sushi folks, they certainly don't put a lot of their nutrition information on there. So I will go in and look at the roll, look what's in it, and then I'll start to plug in the information about a sushi roll and generally get a decent idea. I tend to estimate high just in case because I don't want to blow my macros. But again, it's really about taking the average of the information in your app and using those numbers. So the key is don't freak if there's no nutritional information, because you also don't want to be that person who doesn't go out with their friends, doesn't socialize because you don't know what's in something. I mean, that's not really a way to live. You can still eat well, be healthy, work towards your performance goals, work towards muscle gain and weight loss, and still estimate and still use flexible dieting and macronutrient counting, and just estimate when you're out and about. I mean, the other thing is, if you tend to eat out every single day, then that might be another video on how you might want to revamp some of your eating, or at least choose restaurants where they do publish their information, like Qdoba or Chick-fil-A, Wendy's. There are a lot of really good options there. I did write a blog on healthy eating on the go on figuredoutfitness.com. So if you are someone who likes to eat out at some of those types of convenience restaurants, the nice thing is they do publish that information. But anyway, estimating is really important because we do want you to go out and have fun. We want you to enjoy your food. We want you to, eat the foods that you really enjoy without freaking out your family or friends, or being that person who, I've known people, and this is no lie, who will bring their scale with them to the restaurant. Don't be that person. That's scary. I think that's taking it to an extreme. So not a whole lot to say about estimating. I think most of it is more of a mindset. So once you start to feel comfortable, you know what your macros are, you're comfortable using your app, and you know you're going to go out. And that's another thing. When you know you're going to go out, save a little room, because likely your estimates might be off. You might end up eating something you really want to eat that you didn't plan for. Because how many of us have said, okay, well, I'm going to go to this restaurant and I'm only going to have the salad. And then your husband orders sweet potato fries and they're just sitting right next to you in a big pile in your face. This may or may not have happened to me recently. And then you're like, okay, well, I have a couple sweet potato fries. So if you know you're going out, save some room, meaning don't eat all your macros for the day. Leave a decent amount of macros for your meal, your going out meal, your having time with friends meal. And then when you go to the restaurant, use those tips that I showed you before to estimate the macros so that you're still on track. There's no reason why you can't go out and enjoy yourselves and still stick to your plan. So I'm glad you guys joined me today. I don't really have too much else to say, except, yes, lots of fun stuff going on. If you go to figuredoutfitness.com and you like this kind of content and you want other free and exclusive content like free workouts, nutrition recipes, tips and tricks, those types of things, you can subscribe to my free monthly newsletter. It will be monthly. It's not going to be scary spam. And that's at figuredoutfitness.com. So I encourage you to subscribe to my newsletter so that we can keep chatting and I can help you work towards your goals. The other thing I do is a really nice complimentary goal setting session. So if you'd like to go to calendly.com/Jennifer Nagel, Nagel, that's where you can schedule a free 30-minute goal setting session with me. And that's when we just kind of talk about what your goals are and how you might be able to get there and if there are things that I can do to help. But again, lots of free content, lots of exclusive things for you, and I would love for you to check it out at figuredoutfitness.com. And if you guys have any questions, you can post it in the conversation here tonight, or you can send me a note or DM me, Instagram, all that stuff, Figured Out Fit, my business page, Facebook/Figured Out Fit. Anyway, those are enough of my promos, and good to see everybody online, and I will talk to you next Monday. Next Monday's content is about macro swapping or making swaps. It's kind of a continuation of my extreme recipe makeovers. So again, let's take this fettuccine Alfredo that I showed you today that we estimated. It's not really in my macros, and so if I were craving something like fettuccine Alfredo, chicken fettuccine Alfredo, how would I make that fit my macros? And I have lots of great tips for you. So my food science degree comes in handy in all that product development work I used to do in college. Anyway, it was great talking to you guys tonight. Hope you're having a great week. Have an awesome week, and I will see you next Monday and talk to you later. Bye.